Like, what, Joe? I'm just emotionally done. I'm done with this place. I'm done with therapy.
Will you marry me?
Can I please give you my answer after I speak?
Oh, I screwed that up. Oh, I screwed that up.
It looks like we have finally arrived to the end of this terrible story of Big Ed and Liz on 90 Day The Last Resort, and let's just say the ending is worse than any of us could have imagined. So make sure you sit tight. I'm not going to spoil too much for you, but welcome back to Grim. Let's just get right on into it, and if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my videos. Anyways, let's get right on into it, shall we?
Ed and I are not in a good place. After the boat, you know, I had hope that Ed would show me that he's learned things.
So it turns out that this boat trip that we just saw in the last episode where Big Ed and Jovi had this huge, insane fight was literally the last night of this whole stupid, godforsaken show. So they're having them come in to talk to all the therapists fresh after all their fights. Like, if you remember right, pretty much everybody was crying as a result of this night. Like, everybody has just been treating each other so terribly. And what better time than now to reflect on this awful, awful vacation they've all been on where they're supposed to have been doing therapy, but I'm sorry, I saw like maybe 2 therapy sessions, and one of them was Big Ed thinking he was some circus performer in the 1600s or whatever it was. Like, this show has just been an abject failure. I'm sorry.
The boat wasn't a good experience for a lot of people. What I don't want to do is make what happened today ruin all the work that I've done.
The boat was a good experience for nobody, Ed, except for the audience who got to watch you and laugh at you as you once again failed to do anything socially without pissing everybody around you off. Like, that's just the Big Ed effect. He just frustrates anybody else that he's near, but it's funny that he's acting like he's past this when literally just 15 minutes ago, he made Liz storm off bawling her eyes out. Yeah, that just happened. Like, that fight at the end of the last video literally was just before they walked over here. So the wounds are still fresh with these two, and I don't know, things aren't looking good, but that's kind of the best option. Like, if you ask me how I want this whole saga to end, obviously, I've been praying on their downfall. I'm on clear hater mode, and I'm sure most of you are too, because you don't want to see somebody like Big Ed succeed. He's just too slimy, and he's done a lot of bad things in the past to where I just really do not want to see him end up happy in this when he has not done any of the work to truly improve himself. It's all just for show.
Whether or not Liz and I move forward, I'm going to come out a better man. That I know. I am leaving this as a changed person.
And we get more preachy BS from him acting like he's so self-aware. I'm sorry, he just pulls this out of his ass whenever he's in a bind. He knows exactly what he needs to do in order to be a better person, a better partner to Liz, and he simply doesn't want to do any of this stuff because he's a narcissistic tool that just has somehow floated through life being that way. And if anything, it almost serves him to be this narcissistic because it's gotten him this popularity and this fan base, not really fan base, hater base, I guess you could say, and notoriety in, you know, the modern world that he has so desperately wanted his whole life. That all came from his narcissism. So really, if anything, it's helping him out.
If Ed does not make changes, I don't think Liz will be in this relationship.
Yeah, lady, you've clearly never seen this freaking show because at this point, I mean, people who have watched the Big Ed saga on my channel from the beginning, you could have seen that as like a freshman in high school, and then by now you've already graduated or you're nearly graduating. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a whole freaking life chapter that we've spent with these two idiots, and it doesn't look like things are getting better anytime soon. The man's had 1,000 chances to change, he doesn't, and Liz has had 1,000 chances to leave his sorry ass, and she doesn't either. So I'm sorry, you're just bogus. All 3 of these therapists seem so not legit on this show, and that's just so on brand for TLC. Everything they make is so scripted and scuffed, and it's just so hilarious to me that they thought they were going to actually be making progress with these sorry couples in the 2 weeks they're having them spend here, while they're also having them get lit every night and party. Like, it just doesn't add up.
Like, we're not even communicating with each other right now. Really sucks to have a huge setback right before this big decision.
So now is the morning of the final day where they're supposed to have this ceremony where they basically are going to commit to each other once again in these relationships, or they're going to decide to walk away from this. That is kind of the premise of this show, is it's like all or nothing, and it's sounding like Liz is really not feeling it. In fact, check this out. This is quite an insane addition to the story that I didn't even realize was on Liz's plate, but this is crazy.
So I got Ed a ring more than a year ago. I've never given it to him, and I brought it here hoping it would feel right.
So she's like shaking describing this. Clearly she's emotional about all of this, but she bought his sorry ass a ring in order to promise that she wants to marry him as well. This is the one he'd wear once they got married, and she just has not found the right time to give it to him, which is a shocker to nobody, as every single time she's been shown with Big Ed on camera, he's frustrated her to the point of tears or just embarrassed her or yelled at her to the point of crying. So yeah, their relationship is trash. I don't get why you would even buy this ring in the first place.
Give me 1 second.
Why are you getting emotional?
Because in a past life, I was somebody that was thrown away.
And then we got Crybaby Ed over here in the other room packing up his stuff. It's so funny they have to pack up separately in order to really act like they're just so distraught from each other. But we all know the cycle that they're in. Big Ed can do no wrong. He can just yell at Liz, be mean to Liz, be narcissistic towards Liz as much as he wants. And this sorry woman will keep coming back to the very end of time. Like literally, it's just going to be a constant cycle. So I don't know what he's worried about, but it's brought Ed to tears, or almost tears, as I think this is acting here. Trying to be the victim in this case, once again, trying to get all the emotions onto him so that the focus can be on him and he doesn't look like the true bad guy that he is. Granted, yeah, we have Jovi on this season who was an even bigger prick in many ways, and like honestly everybody else is just so messy. We'll get into that, don't worry. But overall, Ed, I'm sorry, this is so theatrical, man. Put the tears away. Nobody's feeling bad for you at this point. I'm serious.
Welcome, Ed.
Hello.
Hello.
Have a seat.
Thank
You
you.
look great.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
Joey, how are you?
Good.
And would you look at the freaking drip? We see Ed in his most fancy blazer looking just stuffed to the brim. That's really the only way I can put it. But it's hilarious that they put him over next to Jovi. They have to sit next to each other as he literally just tried to implode Jovi's marriage and parental status last night. That is just so insane. These producers are devious. They know exactly what they're doing. But now that's right. It is time for this re-engagement ceremony, whatever they want to call it. Recommitment ceremony, I think it was. And of course, they have the ladies walk in. And honestly, I really don't care about any of them right now except for Big Ed. I just want to hear what their decision is going to be when it comes to continuing this terrible relationship. We've seen this entire season has been a train wreck. The entire season before this was a train wreck, and the season before that was terrible. I think the season before that was Rose, but pretty much every time we've seen these two on camera since they've started this relationship has been tumultuous and just difficult to get through. Cringe or not, I mean, it just seriously is painful to sit through this crap.
I'm still really nervous, but now I have more confidence within myself. I officially know the decision I'm gonna make.
Do you, Liz? Because I feel like we've heard you say this. In fact, I feel like I heard you say this 2 years ago when you threw that freaking wedding ring into the bush randomly and stormed off running away in your engagement dress. Like, I'm just tired of hearing the same old story. And again, I feel bad for Liz because truly she is the one in this situation who is getting messed over. I mean, she's spending some of the prime years of her 20s and 30s with this human slug, and it is just a complete waste of time because I'm sorry, as soon as the money dries up, these two are not going to be fake happy as they are on this show. That is the one catalyst that's keeping these two together, the fame and the clout, and everything else just doesn't matter for them right now, but it will start to matter when it becomes glaringly obvious how different they are, especially when the era comes that she has to start wiping his ass and, like, you know, taking care of him as the old man that he is, since he's literally 40 years older than her. Like, I hate to say it, but that really is a factor here too.
You make me want to strive to be a better man, a better father, and a better partner. I will cherish you and your daughter, Rye, forever.
So Big Ed's reading off his, like, I don't even know if it's supposed to be vows. This kind of feels like a wedding. This whole ceremony is just dumb to me, but he starts reading off the most basic crap that some idiot would write in 4th grade to his crush, and it just feels like so poorly written, but it moves Liz to tears because she can be moved by the simplest of acts by this moron. That's truly how poorly he's treated her this entire time, and he just gets so much credit for the bare minimum, but let's keep this going. It's painful to watch, honestly.
And I want to ask you for the very last time. Will you marry me?
Jesus. So he gets on one knee again. I don't know if the first proposal just didn't work, or maybe if they see this as the symbolic, true first proposal, but he asks her to marry him again. Things are not looking bright for us doubters that really wanted this relationship to not work. Like, I was praying that these two would walk away separated, and that's not looking like it's going to be the case. Let's hear Liz's answer, though, as she is fully in tears at this point, moved by the emotional statements that Big Ed's making.
Can I please give you my answer after I speak?
Oh, I screwed that up. Oh, I screwed that up.
So Liz doesn't give him an answer and says, bro, let me say my piece first. So we might still have hope here. I want to hear what the hell she's about to say, because if she denies him after he got on one knee in front of everybody and they started cheering, I would love it. Also, they keep showing Yara over here, who looks like she's about to fall asleep. I don't know if she's feeling a little bit, you know, poorly after last night. They went hard on that boat and everything, partying, but yeah, I'm feeling you, girl. This is a freaking snooze fest. Let's get on with the drama. Are you gonna break up or not?
As long as we continue to learn to communicate with each other and accept that we may not necessarily agree, we can and will see the sun rise
Okay, so Liz is going through the same list of boring, basic compliments that they're going to read to each other because they have such a surface level crap relationship that just there's no more depth here that they can even reach, you know, for better words to describe each other. But she's now starting to saying that they only, you know, disagree sometimes, but they agree to move forward. No, they disagree all the time, and then you have to go with Big Ed's way because his way or the highway. That is clearly how this relationship is. It's so unfair in so many different ways, yet she's even gaslit herself in this speech, acting like any of this is normal or that anybody like her should put up with a slug like this guy.
Hand in hand, as we are meant to be. I will move to Arkansas with you, and I have one more thing for you.
Oh, no.
And Jesus, you see Big Ed's eyes light up as she starts to mention Arkansas and saying that with a little bit of time, we can fix any wounds. Like, how much time do you need? Again, we've had years going on this relationship, and it is almost worse than it started off, which was already pretty terrible. So tell me, where's this growth coming from? Where's this improvement coming from, Liz? Because I just don't believe you. All these words are so fake.
Will you marry me?
Oh my God.
How did you get that?
Oh my God. Look, I've seen some gross stuff on this show, but man, I really wish I had a puke bucket right now because this is so cheesy. Yeah, we got the peaceful shot of the marina as they're, you know, doing this dual proposal, but that's the surprise as Liz pulls out her ring and is like, you know what? I don't care how much gaslighting and abuse you put me through and how much you make me hate myself and how much I'm starting to mirror you physically as a result of my anxieties and depression from this relationship manifesting themselves into my physical form. But will you marry me? Like, oh, please get a break. I'm so tired of these two. I'm sure you all have heard my disdain in this episode especially, but it is really coming through here as we're nearing the end because I feel like this whole season was so stupid. All it showed us was how unready these two are for marriage, and in the end, we're supposed to feel happy for them? No, there's been no growth. There's been no therapy, like was promised on this show. Just drinking and being mad at each other and causing more drama and crying and screaming and all the terrible things. Nothing good has come from this except for Big Ed also living a past life as a circus performer, which is hilarious for his lore, his personal lore. That's it. So as the sun's setting, they get their romantic dual proposal underway, and it sounds like Big Ed and Liz are officially going to be moving to Arkansas together and being married. I swear, if they start trying to have kids and there's a whole spin-off series of them living in Arkansas and it's like on some keeping up with the Kardashians crap, I might just have to throw in the towel, y'all. Like, I've been saying that for years, but it's just painful at this point.
There's always going to be slip-ups, but I definitely, truly believe that Ed has learned and grown from this.
Thank you.
And we get an iconic shot of them two together at the end here with this interview shot with Liz further spewing her own self-gaslit BS, where she has just completely warped her view of reality and acts like Big Ed has made any progress whatsoever, or that there's any indication he's going to continue to make this, quote, progress she thinks she's been seeing in him. She's not. He's just going to get worse and worse as he gets older and crankier and more rotund. And I just feel so poorly for this woman, but I have to give up those feelings because it's her life and she's chasing that bag, no matter how painful it may be.
Liz and I would like to invite all you to Arkansas for our wedding.
Is that me included?
Hell yes.
So now there's a final round table for the last night of them all celebrating here in this resort that they tormented everybody else that's been staying here that wasn't a part of this show, which is still so funny to me that they couldn't even rent out this space. I mean, come on, TLC, you got all the money in the world, you can make it happen. Anyways, it sounds like officially Jovi is gonna be invited to the wedding, so even that fight didn't matter. Like, all of this just feels like it didn't matter. This show was such a catastrophic failure, but that's so hilarious to me, and that's part of what makes me love this series too, is like, I always use this word, but just how scuffed it is. It's like trash TV in its purest form, and I'm sorry, it's so American and so beautiful to watch. I just love rotting my brain to this series alongside y'all, and I'm glad you've watched to the very end with me.
There's been, you know, fighting and arguments among all of us, but in the end, we're ready to move on to our lives. And
we get some more genius words from Big Ed as we see not only the height distance here, but just this is so symbolic of these two. They're so happy here because, as you can see, they're swaying, and if you look in their eyes, you know what state they're in right now. They're very turned, so to say. Liz, I'm sorry, there's literally not even a thought between those eyes at all. There's no brain activity. She's just standing here like one of those TikTok live NPCs, about to parrot whatever he says about how truly in love and successful their love is going to be. The show ends off with Angela dancing for her iPad boyfriend, and let's just say she puts the iPad under her as she's dancing, wearing not much. to obscure the view. And I'm sorry, actually, you're welcome. I'm not going to include the shot of that. But that's just what this show is all about. It's just so terrible. Like I said, the therapists were awful. There was no progress made. And I feel like I'm losing my mind saying the same things over and over. So I'm going to end it here. I want to know what y'all thought of this series down in the comments below. I am actually going to be continuing it because there's another storyline I want to delve into that's coming this week as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, shout out to my Patreon supporters. And if you made it to the very end of this video, comment Grim Squad for life, as well as drop a subscription and hit the bell so you never miss an upload of mine. As always, I'll catch you all in the next video. And until next time, peace out.